Well, next, Saudi Arabia is gearing up to host the G20 summit this weekend. Now, owing to COVID-19, the conference will be held virtually, and we'll see leaders of the world's biggest economies discuss how to stem the pandemic's impact, particularly on poorer countries. Well, when Saudi Arabia, the world's top oil exporter, took over the G20 presidency last December, hopes in the kingdom were high of revamping the country's image on the international stage. Well, for more, France 24's Douglas Herbert joins us. Doug, this is the first time that an Arab nation, will be hosting the G20. Though it's a virtual gathering, Saudi Arabia sees this as a tremendous opportunity. Tell us more.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, G20 summits are usually gatherings that are supposed to focus on the problems of the world at large, the entire planet. In this case, Saudi Arabia sees it as you said, a giant opportunity, a PR opportunity, if you will, to showcase what it sees as the modernization drive. It's known as Vision to 2030 of its crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman. Now, it's no secret, Mohammed bin Salman is still reeling from the absolutely devastating blow in the wake of Jamal Khashoggi's murder by a band of Saudi thugs, basically, back in 2018. The kingdom's still trying to recover from that incident, as well as, it's no secret, they know they have an abominable perception in their human rights record. They know that the Saudi-led war on Yemen is another giant mark against them in the perception of the international community, or much of it. So what do they want to do? They want to basically try to accentuate the positive as they see it. They see themselves as a kingdom that is now basically an inclusive society, or trying to go in that direction, committed to gender equity. They try to point to reforms now that have banned public floggings, are basically abolishing the death penalty for minors or those convicted when they were minors, and also trying to now, giving women the right to drive and allowing women now to live independently and be able to divorce husbands without the approval of their male guardians. But despite all of that, it's a giant uphill slog. Saudi Arabia has had Donald Trump on their side over the past few years. The House of Saud, he was very chummy with them. He made Riyadh his first destination as a foreign trip. Joe Biden is not going to be such a soft touch. He has made it very clear he is going to review the U.S.-Saudi relationship, and he is going to make, as he sees it, Saudi Arabia the pariah that they are again.
I mean, Doug, you touched on human rights, and Saudi Arabia's human rights record is not without its critics. They're taking essentially a dimmer view when it comes to this G20 push.
Yeah, they see this basically as the Saudis trying to shine a bright light and a positive light on what is generally still overwhelmingly the autocratic rule of this crown prince, because he essentially is the leading force in Saudi society right now, Mohammed bin Salman. And while he's trying to paint a bright picture of his modernization drive, his reforms, to convince the world that everyone else has it wrong about Saudi Arabia, that we're much more modern and we are much more we have much more goodwill than people give us credit for, the fact is that there has been a massive crackdown still underway against those who dissent against the official word, the party line, so to speak, the kingdom's line in Saudi Arabia. Activists, bloggers, journalists, academic, business people have been thrown into jail, and a big light has been shined on women's rights. Women, who I was just saying before, that while they laud the paradox, while they laud the reforms for women, allowing them to drive, that's such a giant step, that they're trying to hail as a big modernization step. In fact, there are a lot of women who remain jailed. One of the leading women's rights campaigners in Saudi Arabia, Lujain al-Hatlul, is right now in the 25th day of a hunger strike. She has been in jail now for over a year. And why? Because she dared to basically press for reforms that went beyond what the Saudi kingdom and what the Saudi ruling family have been basically pressing for. So these are all things that the activists say you need to keep in mind as we look at Saudi Arabia's efforts to showcase its positive side. That basically the reality right now in Saudi Arabia on the ground, despite everything that the Crown Prince and his allies say, is at sharp odds with the rhetoric of the regime.
All right, Doug, at sharp odds are international affairs commentator. Thank you for that analysis.